good morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever and however you may be listening. We're so back. Fantasy football, season 4 with the fellas. We just drafted on Sunday night, got after it a little bit post-draft, so didn't record anything yesterday. But here we are, Tuesday, post-work, first day, new job, so we're just going to get this out of the way right after work. So here's ESPN's official rankings of how we drafted. I'm not going to give my full opinion. I'm going to give you my top 3 at the end of the video after I run through everyone's teams. So here we go. ESPN has Ish predicted to go first. Based off history, we all know Ish is not going to win, but whatever. Rob second, Makosi third, Sutton and Clay, 4th and 5th. So, some historically good players up the top. At the bottom, Rag, Hayden, and Pouchon makes so much sense. ESPN might have done something with that. Then the rest of us just mid in the middle. I don't know about ESPN, but I'm just going to start cooking through these teams and giving my horrible opinion because I'm horrible at this sport. Sport? Whatever. All right, so... my team is not a top 3 team, so I'm just going to go to my team first. Here's my predicament. I like my team. I don't love my team. My team's got a lot of upside, but a lot of downside. I have Josh Allen in all 3 of my fantasy leagues, so I'm basically just absolutely guaranteed that he's going to get a season-ending injury. And I also drafted Breece Hall, Josh Allen in my other big leagues, so... all my eggs in one basket. Obviously, I love my running backs. AFC Beast. I think Terry McLaurin and Rashid Rice are not great options, but for them being 6th and 7th or 5th and 6th round picks, I'm going to be okay with it, I guess. Reed's okay. I like my bench. I have Curtis Samuel, David Montgomery. Could end up being RB1 in Detroit, one of the best offenses. J.K. Dobbins, I mean, I don't know anything about what the Chargers are doing. And then I have Jerome Ford, who's going to get the majority of the early season touches. So I think I have a lot of running back depth. I don't like my wide receivers, and I absolutely hate my tight end. As you'll hear later on, I'm not huge on Houston guys this year. Too many mouths to feed, but... once again, I know nothing about this because I'm horrible. Next team. So the next team we got here, I don't know if you can even see it, is Makosi. Poor guy auto-drafted, and I don't know why I say poor guy. He drafted a fucking great team. ESPN has him predicted 3rd. I had him right outside my top 3, maybe in the 4 or 5 range. It's a good team with a bad bench because auto-drafted him like 4 quarterbacks and a couple defenses. But the starting lineup is good. A little risky. Jordan Love, I'm sure he'll have a good season. Saquon, you got to assume he'll be good. Cooper Kupp probably goes back to wide receiver 1 if he's healthy, and wide receiver 1 with Matt Stafford throwing beautiful. Neighbors is sketchy, and Olave is a little sketchy, but they're both their wide receiver 1s. He has 3 legit wide receiver 1s and a good quarterback, a good tight end. This is a very good team. Good enough to where I might consider auto-drafting next year. Moving on to Brett. Brett preached, Jamar Chase. Brett promised us. He had the number 2 pick. I'm taking Jamar Chase no matter what. He's going to be so good and reliable this year. Nope, he didn't. He pussied out and drafted CeeDee Lamb, who is not out. Ignore the out. But then he went and drafted in division rival Joe Burrow. If you're going to draft a Bengal, just draft Jamar Chase. Obviously, I'm kidding because I think CeeDee's awesome, but he's in my division, and fuck him. I guess instead of Jamar Chase, he went Higgins. Mostert is sketchy, but I mean, he's going to get the goal line touches. Devonta Smith is a good pick. Bowers is about as scary of a pick as my Dalton Schultz pick. He got a couple good, handcuff running backs on the bench. Gus Edwards on LA. Blake Corum on the Rams. He stole Braylon Allen from me. Braylon Allen, Breece Hall's backup, who was number 238 on ESPN's depth chart. Brett snakes him from me in like the 180th pick. I was livid, absolutely livid. This is just an okay team. ESPN had you at 8th. That feels about right. All right, the team that ESPN put at number 1, I do not have at number 1. I think this is a playoff team with a lot of upside, but probably not the winner. I mean, obviously, Jefferson Hurts is going to be crazy as long as Sam Darnold can do anything this season. His bench is not great, but nobody's bench is great. It's a 14-man league. Kittle is boomer bust, and Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, just don't know what you're going to get from them. Derrick Henry had an okay season last year, but he's in like a... Oh my God, I just had a stroke. He's in a great rushing offense, so we're going to see. Each did a great draft, and this is a playoff team for sure. I just don't know about number 1. Each is kind of sucking... ESPN's kind of sucking Each's dick on this one. All right, I've been certified yapping so far, and I'm already like 6 minutes in out of my 10, so I'm going to speed it on up here. Scott's team predicted 7th. Middle of the pack, that feels about right. About as good as Brett's team. Maybe not as good as Isha's. It feels like there was a couple reach picks here, like Isaiah Pacheco in the first round. I know we're a 14-man league, but that feels early. Everyone's high on Puka. I don't know. Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp are absolutely in love with each other, and if Cooper Kupp's healthy, he's getting the rock. Anthony Richardson, I'm not exactly sure where Scott drafted him, but I mean, I think he's going to be good, but people were drafting him in like the 4th round or something, which is just absurd. But, I mean, there's a lot of rushing upside. The Seahawks stack is scary. Ferguson, I think, is going to be good, but, I mean, obviously, once again, not a great bench. He has a couple quarterbacks on the bench. I don't know why. Like, what is Aaron Rodgers and Trevor Lawrence going to do in fantasy football? I do like Rome Odunze on the bench, especially if Keenan Allen's old ass gets hurt. Also, I said I was going to stop yapping, and I yapped for 90 more seconds on Scott's team. Scott, solid team, very risky. All right, another team that ESPN had predicted near the bottom is old Pushan, who is no longer on the West Coast, so congrats on your name being wrong. Now you can get a DUI in the Midwest. Congrats, Pushan. Fucking idiot. This team is... I'm looking at Singletary. I kind of like, because, I mean, he's still running back 1, even if he's on a shitty team. Stroud's going to be fine, even though I said Jaden Daniels is going to be better. Stamp it, for fantasy at least. I'm not saying the Commies are going to be better than the Texans, because God knows. I don't like ETN, no matter how much Kyle mumbles on, oh, I'm the sleeper guy, ETN, oh, and then whatever else bullshit name he threw out there this year. But I do like Kieran Williams as long as he stays healthy. And if he doesn't, then Brett's going to have Blake Corum and beat us all to death. Really going to have to start running through here. Cal... I'm sorry if you're at the back of this yap, so you're not going to get to be talked about enough. Obviously, Pat Mahomes is a great pick. Running back room leaves a lot to be desired. But you got Jamar Chase. Patrick Mahomes, Jamar Chase. You never know. ESPN had you at 6. I don't know if this is a playoff team, if I'm honest. But Cal does weird stuff, so you never know. I am basically out of time, so I'm going to do rags. And then I'm going to come back. I think I have like 4 or 5 teams left, including the top, who I think is the top 3. So I'm going to go through Rag's team. Rag predicted last by ESPN, and I see ESPN's vision for sure. Warren is not, probably should not be running back 2, probably a flex. But then you go and look at Rag's other running backs, and it's just, I mean, who else? I mean, he's got Eckler. And then backups. No, he has Eckler and 1 backup. And then he picked up Baltimore's 4th stringer who's out. I don't know. This team, A-Chain could be running back 1, and Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers could love each other. I don't know. We'll see. Dalton Kincaid could be awesome. This is a weird team. I don't know. Rag, borderline playoff team. I feel like I'm going to say that about everyone. I will see you guys in part 2. I love yapping about ball, baby. Let's go.